Hey, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Harry from Twitter, and I'm here to tell you how and why Elon Musk has ruined Twitter. Elon Musk says you can't put a price on free speech, but he did, and it was £44 billion. That is how much he paid for Twitter social media. Now, I've been using Twitter for a while, 5 or 6 years. Some people have been using it a lot longer. When I joined Twitter, it was a place of discourse, debate, banter. Quite a pleasant space to be on. Since Elon Musk bought it, it really has gone downhill, and there's a few reasons for that. So firstly, we've got to look at the algorithm. So the algorithm is heavily manipulated by Elon Musk, by his prejudiced beliefs and by the ways he sees the world. Now, we know that Elon Musk is a white supremacist. He is. He did a Nazi salute on stage. He appears at AFD events. He tweets things about white supremacy, like he's clearly a Nazi. And this is the lens through which Twitter is developed. So you see the suppression of left-wing accounts all the time. You see the suppression of accounts who don't comply with that. So when you look at Twitter, the first thing that you'll see is usually opinions you just disagree with. It's right-wing, it's accounts as bigoted. That's just the algorithm in and of itself. But when you actually look at how he's incentivizing that, things really get worse. So when you look at how it's monetized, you can see that actually they're doubling down on this disinformation by rewarding lies, rewarding hate, and rewarding controversy, which just makes it more divisive and more toxic. So there's a recent study by Sky News, broke it, basically looking at what happens when you set up brand new accounts. And it was overwhelming that these accounts, even when they engaged and supported right-wing and followed left-wing accounts, they were showing right-wing content. When they followed and engaged with right-wing accounts, they were also showing right-wing content. So what this shows is that X is intrinsically set up to push right-wing content. I'll publish a link to that study as well, because it's quite scary, really. It's quite horrific, because it shows that far from being a town square where people can talk about anything, it's designed to radicalize the user more to the right. Then when you compound this by content creators who are monetized or incentivized to stay on the platform, which sounds quite good, what you see is that it's actually done on a basis of impressions. So the more impressions you get, the more reward you get. It sounds fairly straightforward, until you start to realize that the things that get you the most reward, the most engagement, are things that are hateful, are controversial, and usually wrong. Because when you post something that is incorrect, people post it to correct you. People who believe it and it's incorrect also repost it. When it's controversial, you get the emboldened people who also believe that posting, but you also get the people who are worried about it posting. And what you see is accounts that post hate, post just vile and disinformation, getting millions and millions of views, and they will be raking it in from Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is essentially rewarding their hate, their bile, and their misinformation. All these things are combining to make a perfect storm to make Twitter an unbearable place, which means left-wing accounts or people with, a sense of morality who think we can't be in this space are leaving. You're seeing more right-wing accounts come in and take hold there, and it's becoming an unrecognizable place. The sheer amount of bots on Elon Musk's platform, alone, these are bot farms that are targeted and triggered, and you see them misfire occasionally, and it's really funny because it shows themselves when they comment on the slightly wrong post, because, they slightly got it wrong, or it said the word reform, but it wasn't talking about Reform UK, for example. But they're always consistent. Now, I notice them on my account. They come quick, they come hard, and they come fast. They're usually triggered when you talk about certain things. So if you talk about Elon Musk being a Nazi, you get an onslaught of bot farms. If you talk about Palestine, you get an onslaught of bot farms. If you talk about taxing the rich or the Green Party, you get an onslaught of bot farms. And what these do is they're designed to give the impression that there are more people out there who think this than they are. In a way, it's actually quite revealing, because if enough people thought that, they wouldn't need to activate bot farms. So it's actually a sign of their weakness. But it shows that there's a lot of money and coordination going into this disinformation as well, that Musk not only allows on his platform, he seems to actively encourage. So it's become a home not only for the disinformation, it's become a home for the hate and division. It's also become a home for the bots. Now, if I look at some of the comments that I receive on a daily basis, they're horrific. And what that stops me doing is it stops me engaging with the comment section, which has a negative effect, again, because the old Twitter used to be a community. People used to check up on, people used to make friends with. I've still got friends from the Twitter days of old that I check in with, that I speak, that send me books in the post, really nice communities. But now I don't engage with my comments because I just don't want to look at that hate and that drivel. And that is another result of, Musk's attack on this platform. So why am I telling you this? I stick around on X because I've been weighing up, should I leave or not? I've written a few articles on it that I'll link below. And I've always stuck around for multiple reasons, because I don't want to cede that ground. I don't want to leave the fascists and the bots to feast on the corpse of X. I think it's important. I also still have reach and a platform. I seem to have mastered the language of X. I can get my word out there. So I think it's something I should stay and do to keep fighting that good fight. But also one thing that I've done is I've monetized my X, but I've actually used the revenue to give it to charity. Over the last 6 months, I've raised £7,500 for local and national charities. And I tend to give it to charities that would be demonized by Elon Musk platform. So the trans community, the refugee, the migrant community. So I try and do a little bit of good with the devil's money. But it is a worrying space and there's no clear answers. I mean, part of me would like to think, brilliant, if I can monetize social media, could it be where that's something I dedicate more time to? But unfortunately, it's just not reliable because it's controlled by Musk. And he changes it at the last minute. So I've noticed it a few times when I start speaking out on certain issues, my monetized income will drop, 50, 60, 80% in some cases. So it's so heavily controlled that it's not free at all. It's manipulation. So that's why it's really important to support independent creators. It's why it's really important to follow and share content and kind of support it across different platforms. And if you can subscribe to people's Patreons or things like that, because it will always favor GB News. It will always favor those far right accounts that do so well on Twitter. And it will always penalize the left wing accounts that are just trying to fight the good fight. So I guess my summary is he's ruined it. He's destroyed it. But I'm not ready to leave. I'm not ready to cede that ground. But it's certainly not a place I want to be spending too much of my time, because it's not good for you. Get out, get on the beach and enjoy life. I'm always amazed when I go out and speak to people that they're not rude to me. They're actually really nice. And I forget Twitter is not the real world. And it's so important that if you're spending too much time in that toxic place, to get out of it, get out in the real world and chat to people, because people are always much more kind, nice and understanding. And yeah, just do the bits you can. Have a look at the article. It goes into a bit more detail and it's got the links to the studies in, so I'll link that below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please follow me on other platforms. And please subscribe to my Substack if you can as well. Peace.